What's up, beautiful image bearers? It's me, CA3, and today we're taking a look at Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16, which talks about the followers of Jesus being the light of the world. So Jesus says, "You are the light of the world." And Jesus gives Christians both a compliment and a great responsibility here. He testifies that he himself is the light, and all who receive him carry that light as well. And this is something we see in John 8 and 12. Then Jesus spoke to them again, saying, "I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life." So being the light of the world doesn't just mean that we receive the light of Christ, but that we also become light givers. We don't live this life just for ourselves, but for others, so that they too can come into the light of Christ. And notice that Jesus isn't issuing a challenge to be light here. He says that we are the light of the world. So we are either fulfilling or failing that responsibility each day. Light is needed because the world is filled with darkness. And if our Christian walk imitates the darkness, then we have nothing different to show the world. We have to be different. We don't affect the world by being like the world. But it goes on to say, "Let your light so shine before men." And the purpose of light is to illuminate and expose what is there. But the light itself must be exposed first. If we hide or dim the light of Christ to those around us, we lose our usefulness. But this light metaphor also makes it clear that the Christian life was never meant to be a hidden life, nor was it meant to be something that we just mention on the side here and there. "Oh yeah, I'm a Christian, by the way." It is to be our whole life. It should encompass who we are. But also, on the other side, as Christians, we cannot separate completely from the world. We can't isolate or only interact with other Christians. Light is only noticeable because it illuminates darkness. And so Jesus says a city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. So just like a great city that is on display for all to see and marvel at, Jesus wants the people of his kingdom to live visible lives that attract attention to the beauty of God's work in our lives. But he goes on to say, "Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand." And the idea of a lampstand gives the sense that we are to be intentional about letting the light shine. A lampstand actually elevates the lamp so that it can be seen better and illuminate more. Think about trying to set a lamp on the floor in a corner of a room versus actually propping it up on something where it can easily be seen from any part of the room. But he says that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. The purpose of letting our light shine by doing good works is so that others will glorify God, not us. And the Greek word for glorify here is doxazo, which means to think about, suppose, magnify, and praise. How we live as Christians will have an effect on how others view the God that we claim to believe in. The goal is for them to see grace in us and to see God in us so that they wonder where this light comes from, which then, of course, opens the door to share the gospel that brought the light to us in the first place. So let's close this out by bringing together Jesus' three metaphors. In a few verses prior, he says that we are the salt of the world. And salt is the opposite of corruption. It prevents corruption from getting worse as well. It was literally used historically as a preservative prior to our modern amenities like freezers and refrigerators. He says we are the light of the world, and light gives the gift of guidance so that those who have lost their way can find the path home. Shining our light is what helps others to realize that they are in darkness like we ourselves once were. And then a city on the hill. A city, of course, being the product of social order and government, essentially the opposite of chaos and disorder. The world has a system, right? But as Christians, we live in opposition to it with boldness. We stand firm and we stand in a way that makes our presence known. So essentially, this Christian walk is nothing if we don't actually live it out. You can call yourself a Christian all day, but it's no different than me saying that I'm an NBA player when I've never actually been signed to a team. Just because I say I'm something doesn't really add the impact to it. What makes what I'm saying impactful is if I'm actually doing what I say. You see, it's not about being perfect, but every day committing to allow God to perform his work within you so that you can then go and do the work that he has called you to. That's all I got for you today. Be encouraged, okay? All it takes is a willingness and a desire to live for God, and he will make it possible for you. God bless you. I love you, and peace.